Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome, everybody, to our annual Law Enforcement Day. My name is Roger Heitzig. I'm your club president for another 2.5 months. And I really appreciate everybody coming out today. We've got a few announcements I want to go through. Next Monday is Health and Happiness. It's at Ink and Ivy, and y'all know where that is, right up the street here. We have Discover Rotary next Tuesday. And last I looked, we still don't have any participants. So bring your friends next Tuesday to Discover Rotary at 5:30. It's at Craig Golden Davis. Andrea's firm. Where's Andrea? There she is. Next Thursday is a big day. We've got coffee and conversation at Spill the Beans in the morning, and in the evening is our annual social. See Rob for details about casino night. They swear we're going to have casino games this year, so it's all good. All right, a little Rotary business. We have a very special occasion to announce today. Where is Brian Little? There's Brian in the back of the room. As of today, Brian Little has 50 years of perfect Rotary attendance. Come on up here, Brian. We're going to get a picture with you. That's amazing. I'm not even 50 years old yet. What's so funny? Yeah, that's right. I would also like to thank our friends at the front table here from Broad Street. If y'all stand up, they are our sponsors of today's event. These are Sonny's coworkers who have graciously sponsored today's event. Very thankful. If you have money, see them. And last, cart buckets. I want to see the cart buckets going around the table. Apparently, according to the notes here, I'm the matcher this month. So if you want to drain money out of my pocket, please donate generously. Thank you. And with that, I'll call Wade. Where's Wade? Wade is going to do our invocation and pledge.
Please join me in prayer. Gracious God, we give thanks this day and commend to your care and keeping the men and women of our law enforcement agencies who venture much to secure the liberties we enjoy and preserve the safety of our communities. Defend them by day with your heavenly grace. Protect them from every trial and danger. Bless them in their labors and in their rest, and grant them a sense of your abiding presence wherever they may be. Amen. Please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Greenville. My favorite thing that we do at the Rotary Club of Greenville, and that is our Law Enforcement Day. We have a lot of guests, many of you who are here to get awards and to celebrate the award winners, but there's a couple of guests I'd like to also recognize. So when I say your name, if you'll just stand up for a moment, and then we'll have applause at the end. First of all, guests of the club include Andrew Colbreth, Jean Marie Tankersley, Miles Elliott, Lee Paletti, Shannon Lovren, Fred Suggs, Jen Howe, Jason Buffery, Matthew Hoffman, DeMarianne Get Here, and Ramon. They're looking in traffic. But anyhow, thank you all for being here. Welcome to our club. I do want to give a special shout out to this table over here. So included there are Andrew, who's with the solicitor's office. Jay Gresham, our new clerk of court, is here. Shannon is our city manager. Lee is the city attorney, and Jean Marie is the president of the Greenville County Bar. We just want you guys here that are getting the awards to know, as law enforcement officers, everyone who has anything to do with the law, we support you and we honor. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. I am Christine Amin, and I am your next Rotary Club president. Woohoo! But that is not what I'm here to talk about today. I am here to talk about the All Club District Conference, May 16th through the 18th. Now, let me see a show of hands of all of our Rotarian members who have actually been to an All Club conference. Okay. All of those people, I want you to turn to somebody else at your table that didn't raise their hand and say, I had a great time. It was a lot of fun. I learned a lot about Rotary. I met a lot of great Rotarians across our district. I got more inspired about being a Rotarian, and I really highly recommend you go. We have an all club conference once a year in our district, and I believe it's usually in May. They rotate the location. Last year it was in Greenville. This year it's in Columbia. We start on Friday with some kind of charitable project. Last year we cleaned up a park. This year I think we're putting together some items for people in hospitals or something like that. I am not in charge, so I don't know. Then there is a get together on Friday night, just a casual cash bar. You get to meet people. All day Saturday, there are different meetings that you can choose from. You could go to a meeting that talks about membership. You could go to a meeting that talks about international service projects. You could go to a meeting that talks about local service projects. And you'll hear from different people across the district in many different other Rotary clubs, what they've done, what has worked, even some things that haven't worked, and they're letting you know, we tried that, didn't work for us, might want to think about something else. Saturday night, there's a big dinner with a great speaker. The speakers I have heard at district conferences have been amazing. The projects that they've done. Sunday morning, I think that we just get up and leave. I can't quite recall from last year. Yeah, thank you. But anyway, it is a great time, and I always leave just feeling proud to be a Rotarian and excited about the next Rotarian project that I get to be involved in. So I highly recommend it, May 16th through the 18th in Columbia. Thanks.
It is an honor to introduce our speaker for our annual Law Enforcement Appreciation Day. Before I would say welcome to all of our special guests today. See a lot of familiar faces. Justice Letitia Hamilton Verdin was born and grew up in Seneca, South Carolina. That's over there in like Tiger Town or something. Her parents were public school educators. Justice Verdin graduated from Furman University in 1992 with a degree in biology. She attended Clemson University postgraduate studies in biochemistry. Sounds like every lawyer would be doing that kind of stuff. She then went to law school, University of South Carolina, and received her Juris Doctor degree in 1997. After graduating from law school, her first gig, I guess, was with the solicitor's office in 13th Circuit, Andrew. and also in the Eighth Circuit. And in those jobs, she spent her majority of her time prosecuting domestic violence cases and crimes against children. She found that very inspirational work, and she acted in the family court environment in those jobs. In the year 2000, she entered private law practice with Clarkson, Walsh, Rainey, and Turner, a law firm here in Greenville. She spent 5 years with the Clarkson law firm and then returned to the office of the 13th Judicial Circuit Solicitor. 2008, Justice Verdin was elected to the family court for the 13th Circuit, and the 13th Circuit is the Greenville-Pickens Circuit that we're also familiar with, obviously. In 2011, after 3 years on the family court bench, she was elevated to the circuit court, and the circuit court is that court primary original trial jurisdiction for civil and criminal matters in our court system. She spent 12 years as a circuit court judge, and I suspect some of the lawyer faces in here might have had, we could call it experiences. Which would be rather polite, or encounters. Encounters would be another word possibly used for those 12 years on the trial bench. She was subsequently elected to the Court of Appeals, and in 2024, Justice Verdin was elected by our legislator as an associate justice on the South Carolina Supreme Court. And we are just tremendous. I know the Bar Association is tremendously proud of that accomplishment by Letitia, Justice Verdin. Justice Verdin is married to Chuck Verdin, who is a practicing attorney here in Greenville. And she and Chuck have twin sons, Zach and Eli, and I can't remember how old they are, but teenagers are 21. Okay. You know, time flies when you're having fun. Finally, on a more personal note, before my retirement as the circuit defender and before Justice Verdin's election to the Supreme Court, I had the opportunity to appear before Judge Verdin on numerous occasions. You recall what I described a moment ago, encounter, whatever. And I will say without hesitation that Justice Verdin always treated persons appearing before her, be they lawyers, be they parties to some controversy, be they witnesses or jurors from the community, always treated persons before her with the highest degree of respect, integrity, and fairness. We can ask no more of our judges than that. With that, I offer a Rotary welcome to our speaker today, Justice Letitia Verdin.
Thank you, John, for that very kind introduction. I think if you were to try to sum up the theme of my career, I think you might take from it that I can't hold a job. So that's, and Rusty stole a good bit of my thunder by recognizing several very important people to me who are here today, and thank you very much. But I want to say he failed to mention that amongst the legal dignitaries that are here, Rusty Enfinger, our past president of the South Carolina Bar. I'm wonderful to see. Sheriff Lewis, a dear friend, and Chief Thompson, and of course, I'll mention again our Clerk of Court, Jay Gresham, who has taken over in the past few months and is doing a fantastic job, the Greenville County Courthouse. I want to say thank you for having me here today. Your speaker last year was Chief Justice. He was not Chief Justice then, but is now Chief Justice John Kittredge. I want to, for those of you who were there to hear his speech last year, I want you to go ahead and set your expectations a little bit lower, okay? He is fantastic, and he is doing an incredible job on this as our Chief Justice, making so many changes to make our legal system here in South Carolina more transparent, more fair, and he is leading us, I believe, very much in the right direction. And I could not ask for a better boss. But he wanted me to tell you hello and greetings from him. He is in Columbia today. I want to congratulate Detective Thomas Bixby and Investigator Brittany Bratcher, who I got to meet. I want to congratulate you on this wonderful recognition by the Rotary Club. I was talking to your president, Roger Heitzig, and he asked me if I had ever been involved with Rotary before, and I told him I grew up in Rotary. My dad was a past president of Rotary in Seneca. I remember talking about the four-way test very often, and more than anything, I remember going to Father-Daughter Day at Rotary and selling Christmas trees for the fundraiser. So I enjoyed that very much. It's really an honor to stand before you today, not just as a member of the Supreme Court, but as someone, as you heard, has walked many steps of the legal path. I began my career as a prosecutor, and I served as a family court judge and then later as a circuit court judge. Each of those roles gave me a deeper appreciation for the people who stand on the front lines of our justice system every single day, our law enforcement officers. And so today, on Law Enforcement Appreciation Day, it's not just my job that brings me here. How are you doing? It's good to see you. It's not just my job that brings me here today. It's my gratitude. I'm sorry, I just saw an old friend, and we had many, many, many cases together, and she is a dear friend, and I just saw her smiling face. But I'm here today to show you my gratitude. I've worked alongside officers in courtrooms, in difficult family situations, in high-stakes trials, and in moments of tragedy. And I've seen law enforcement officers as witnesses, as unfortunately as victims, as mentors to youth, and as silent protectors of public safety. I've called upon them for testimony and relied on their reports and watched juries look to them for truth and trust. I've never forgotten the faces of the men and women who put themselves in harm's way, not for glory, but out of a deep and quiet sense of duty. To the officers here today, thank you. Thank you for showing up. I know it is not always easy, and you do it even when it is not easy. We sometimes talk about the system like it's a machine, but it's not. It's made up of people. And the system only works when good people like you, like the law enforcement here today, stand between order and chaos and between justice and injustice. In my early days as a young prosecutor, I quickly learned that a case is only as strong as the integrity and care behind it. I came to Depend on law enforcement, not just for evidence, but for insight and for judgment and for truth. When I moved to the family court bench, I saw another side of law enforcement's work, the quiet, emotional, often unseen part of being a law enforcement officer. Officers showing up at homes torn apart by addiction or neglect or violence. Officers comforting children when DSS workers arrived. Officers who carried burdens home that no one ever saw. And later, as a circuit court judge, presiding over some of the most difficult cases our state has to offer: murders, violent crimes, tragedies that shook communities, I saw law enforcement step up with professionalism, even when emotions ran high and tensions ran deep. So when I say thank you, it is not from a distance. It's from the trenches, from having stood beside you in the hard work of justice, from knowing how much you give and how little that law enforcement asks for in return. You're the keepers of peace and the enforcers of law, and often the first hope that people see in moments of crisis. I want to acknowledge something else that is the truth. The job is harder than it has ever been before. Officers today are expected to do more, respond to more, understand more, and do it all under the weight of scrutiny, limited resources, and sometimes even outright hostility. You wear the badge, but you also wear society's expectations, their frustrations, and their fears sometimes. And through it all, you're expected to remain calm, measured, fair, and firm. And that's a high calling, but you answer it every day. I've always believed that law enforcement officers and the judiciary are partners, maybe not in the political sense, but in the pursuit of truth, fairness, and justice. We both swear an oath to uphold the law. We both know the power of that oath, and we both know what it means to be stewards of the public trust. When you carry out your duties with honor, the entire system is strengthened. Your fairness lends credibility, your integrity builds trust, and your presence brings reassurance. And your professionalism ensures the rights of all, victims, defendants, and the community, are respected. And that's no small thing. That's the foundation of a free and lawful society. Let me say something else I know to be true. The vast, overwhelming majority of law enforcement officers are honorable people doing difficult work for the right reasons, and I am proud to stand with you. But standing with you doesn't just mean saying thank you one day a year. And I commend the Rotary Club for doing this every year and for highlighting the work that law enforcement does all year long. But it means supporting you with real resources. It means advocating for better mental health support, better training, and better equipment. It means standing behind your families who serve and sacrifice quietly every time you walk out the door. It also means remembering that our communities and our officers are not separate. They're one and the same. When the community thrives, law enforcement thrives. And when law enforcement is supported, communities are safer and stronger. So to all the citizens, leaders, and Rotarians in this room, I ask you to carry this appreciation forward, as I know you do. Invite officers into your spaces, not just during emergencies, but during moments of celebration and community. Support them not just in the uniform, but in life. Take time to understand the demands that they face. Take time to teach your children to respect, not fear, the badge. And take time to let these men and women know that they're not alone. And to the officers in the room, I say this: you don't do it for recognition, but you deserve recognition. You don't do it for thanks, but you've earned our thanks. You do it because something inside you believes that service matters, that sacrifice matters, and that standing between danger and the innocent matters. That belief is the backbone of our society, and I thank you for it. As a former prosecutor, I thank you. As a former family court judge, I thank you. And as a former circuit court judge, I thank you. And now, on behalf of our state's highest court and our Chief Justice, John Kittredge, I thank you as well. May God bless our law enforcement officers. May He grant you wisdom, courage, and protection. And may He bless the great state of South Carolina. Thank you. Well, if anybody has any questions, I must have been too short, I think. Yes, sure. Well, that's a great question. I am the third. The first was former Chief Justice Toll and Jean Toll. And the second was Justice Kay Hearn from Conway. And so I was very honored to be the third. I don't know if any of you know them, but they are tiny. I mean, both of them are tiny. I'm definitely the biggest woman who served on the Supreme Court. But they are tiny, but they've got huge shoulders. And I'm very, very proud to stand on those very huge shoulders. To women who might be interested in a career in the judiciary or a career in the legal field at all, I would just say to go for it. My dad was a football coach. Y'all heard I grew up the daughter of educators. My dad was our high school principal. And a long time ago, you could be the high school principal and the football coach too. And he was. And he used to always tell me, you can't win the game unless you get on the field. And so that's just what I've lived by. I found that the South Carolina legislature was judges are elected by the legislature in our state, was very open to my candidacy. They were very open to a woman serving in these places. And we just didn't really talk about it, to tell you the truth. But I would just encourage anybody who wants to do it, find mentors in the legal field, find mentors in the judiciary. Those mentors don't have to be women. And sometimes I think it's even better if it's not, just to get a different perspective. So I would encourage anybody to do that. Get out there and go for it, but then also find a mentor to help shepherd you along the way. I know I certainly did. And one of my biggest mentors was now retired circuit solicitor Bob Ariel. He was a huge mentor to me. He was my boss for many years and was the one who encouraged me to run for judge. And then Judge Ned Miller has always been a mentor to me from the minute I stepped on the circuit court bench. He's circuit court judge, now retired. And of course, John Kittredge have all been mentors to me, but former Chief Justice Jean Toll has been a great mentor of mine as well. Yes, sir. That's a really good question too. It's certainly difficult times, and I stand here today without any hesitation and tell you that, I know that faith in the judiciary worldwide, this is not just our country, this is worldwide, is low. And lots of political scientists have lots of theories on why that is. The number one, the things that I think we can do as a judiciary and we strive to do is, number one, understand that, we might not love it when another branch gets in our lane. We have to make sure we stay in ours. We have to make sure we stay in our lane and do what we're constitutionally mandated to do, and no more. Next, we have to be transparent, and we have to, be willing for folks to sort of be able to see, peek behind the curtain, so to speak, and know what is going on and be very transparent, and for cases to be open for folks to know about. And then the third thing I think that we need to do is maybe do a better job as a judiciary, and Chief Justice Kittredge is the leader in this, of going out to the community, engaging with the community and speaking with the community. And I think for a lot of years, we felt like maybe the way to do things was to be closed off and not necessarily engage with the community for fear that we might run afoul of the judicial canons. But there's a nice balance that he strikes every day of being engaged with the community, but still, following our code of conduct. I mean, we certainly can't talk about particular cases or answer questions about particular cases. We can't get involved in political activities. But other than that, we can engage with the community. And I think he is really leading by example. Thanks for that question. Oh, this is going to be a tough one, I can tell. I think that, and again, y'all ask great questions. Again, I think the most important part is to be a well-informed public and to want to know about the judiciary and want to know what's going on. I think that's very important as a community. The next thing is to understand that any of us, and of course I think so much of the free press and our media, but there are certain times that, of course, the headline is just so misleading. And I would encourage anyone to go further, look into this a little bit more and get a little bit more information. Talk to, if you've really got concerns, rather than making a knee-jerk comment or something like that, I would say talk to a lawyer and ask a lawyer friend what they think about the particular situation. A lot of times it is not, it doesn't garner as much attention to sort of explain, well, this is this particular type of hearing, and the prosecutor and the defense attorney were constrained. They could only do this, and the judge, this is the only type of decision. The judge couldn't have found the person guilty on that day or something like that. And then finally, I would just say, if you think something is misleading, to speak out, to defend it, to defend the judiciary if you believe it's the right thing to do. We would appreciate it a lot, because as I mentioned, the rules of conduct, that's another thing we can't do. We can't speak out and talk about any particular case. Oh, I think he's got one. Do we have time for one more question?
I'll make it quick. Thank you for being here.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, all of our law enforcement personnel, for your lives on the line every day. In line with your comment about community service, no question, I just wanted to mention, we do have available seats for the judiciary in Rotary.
Oh, great.
For anyone else in the judicial branch who would like to become a member, come see me. I can talk to you about Discover Rotary and all that.
I would love to do that. And I would love to do that. And I want to, and I do want to speak with you about that, because I can tell you, my father, who passed away a few years ago, is smiling right now. I think this is the first time I've ever been invited to join Rotary, so he's pretty proud right now. I appreciate it.
All right, our president is pressing me to go on forward with the official business of today. I'm going to invite the Sheriff Lewis, to come up, make a presentation regarding the Sheriff's Department, which, as soon as that is over, if the city would just immediately follow, please. Sheriff?
Well, thank you all. Thank you, Justice Verdin. Always a pleasure to be in the same room with you. We're all so proud of all your accomplishments. If you have won this award before, please stand up. Mike East went to the restroom, Major Mike East. Of course, that's the way it goes. Thank you, Major Miller. If you look at the back of your program, you'll see a long list of people who has been awarded this award. And I think it says a lot about law enforcement here in the upstate from the city and the county. And we couldn't be more proud of the job you do. Your name may not be called today, but if you're here, just know we appreciate you as leaders in law enforcement. This year's recipient of the Greenville Rotary Deputy of the Year Award is a reputable investigator. As an established narcotics investigator with the Greenville County Multi-Jurisdictional Drug Enforcement Unit, Investigator Brittany Bratcher has proven to be more than familiar with the relentless work ethic and keen investigative skills required to keep even the most dangerous criminals accountable to state and federal law. Investigator Bratcher specializes in investigating transnational drug trafficking organizations with an acute ability to track, locate, and apprehend elusive criminals, ensuring the service of justice to each. No stranger to hard work, long nights, and early mornings, Investigator Bratcher is the epitome of a dedicated investigator. Her work through the course of her career has resulted in the removal of pounds of narcotics off Greenville streets, while simultaneously working hand in hand with state and federal agencies to combat organized crime rings. Through the development of each case, Investigator Bratcher has successfully investigated numerous traffickers, resulting in 14 felony arrests, leading to the combined seizures of 150 grams of fentanyl, 14,000 grams of methamphetamine, 2,500 grams of cocaine and heroin, and 2.3 pounds of marijuana and 4 illegally possessed firearms. Investigator Bratcher holds herself and her work to the highest ethical and professional standard, and it has resulted in cases that met the high precedent for both state and federal prosecution. Her dedication to her work reiterates her desire to make Greenville County a better place to work and live. I am honored to stand here today and recognize Investigator Bratcher, but I also want to recognize her family and loved ones who graciously lent her to be on our Greenville County team. Brittany, if you're come on up. Any family watching online, we certainly want to say thank you. Congratulations.
I'm not sure that I'm tall enough to reach this, but
Gotcha.
um my my words are not as nice as what we've heard so far, but thank you. I'm truly honored and humbled to receive this award. I thank the Rotary Club of Greenville for this acknowledgement. I also want to thank the other members of my unit. Without their help daily, none of the cases that he spoke of would have been possible. To my mentors, I thank you for your guidance and support. To my supervision, I really thank you because I know I'm the easiest person to supervise. And thank you all for this recognition. I'm truly humbled.
Am I supposed to introduce her? Can I stay up here? You know, us politicians like to talk a little bit, so you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Following the sheriff is going to be a little bit of a tough act, so I appreciate you letting him go first. Thank you, everyone, today for being here and your time and honoring these fine individuals. My name is Patricia Molinax, and I'm a captain with the Greenville City Police Department over our Criminal Investigative Division. And this afternoon, I have the honor of introducing you to Detective Thomas Bixby. First, I would like to recognize his family that is with him here today, his wife Charlene and his father-in-law and mother-in-law, Dennis and Ileana. I want to thank you for every missed holiday, every sleepless night, and every whispered prayer, for the countless sacrifices that go into supporting and loving a law enforcement officer. Our community thanks you. Also, I would like to recognize his team that is here with him today. Detective Eric Bryant, Detective Peyton Lloyd, and Detective Evan Markey, along with Sergeant Mike Estes, who leads our violent crimes unit. Over the last couple of years, I've had the honor of watching them navigate several challenges, from personnel shortages. They currently are operating at a 60% capacity, to political pressures, to navigating the sleepless nights with a newborn at home. And they have done so without complaint. Their tireless dedication to their craft has led to an over 70% clearance rate for violent crimes in the city limit of Greenville. For comparison, the national average is 36%. Since 2023, they have had a 100% clearance rate for every homicide committed within the city limits of Greenville. That is incredible. They are creative, they are innovative, and they are champions of justice, and I'm honored and proud to call them my colleagues. Now, for Thomas Bixby, he started his career here in 2015, and he has spent the last 4 years serving as a violent crimes detective before a recent reassignment where he gets to focus on digital forensics. Some say he abandoned his team, but it's still in support. In addition to his service as an investigator, he is also a specific skills instructor, and he serves as a team leader on our bicycle crowd management team. During his time as an investigator, he has investigated over 240 violent crimes, and he has been instrumental over this time in identifying different software and other tools that have enhanced the capabilities of not only every detective, but also every officer at the Greenville Police Department. In early spring of 2023, Detective Bixby became the lead investigator in an attempted murder case of a local attorney that happened in the middle of the day, not far from the law enforcement center. This case turned out to be incredibly complex, involving a multitude of technological capabilities that, to be honest, I did not know existed. I watched Detective Bixby tirelessly work and be supported by a team of individuals, but he championed that case relentlessly throughout the investigation, the arrest, the trial. He was recognized by the solicitor's office for his incredible work ethic and professionalism. He is an asset to our organization and our community. And I'm so proud to be standing here today and recognizing him as the Officer of the Year for the Rotary Club. Detective Bixby, would you please come up?
Let's have one more hand for our winners today. Brittany and Thomas, thank you so much. My brother-in-law is a chief of police in a small city in Michigan, and I know your game has gotten so much different over the last 30 years. He thought he'd never pull his gun out, and that game has changed a lot in a little town in Michigan. So we all thank you for your incredible work every day. I do want to thank also, obviously, Justice Verdin. We, as always, have a book that she's graciously signed that we'll give to our Title I school, Alexander Elementary. I don't know if we've got anybody here to take it. Otherwise, I'll bring it with me on Friday. I do want to thank John. John, stand up for a second. John is tireless. John Malden is tireless about putting this event together for us every year and does a fantastic job. And once again, thank you to our sponsors for today's event as well. My four things, please don't forget them. I talked about Discover Rotary. I know I'm not going in order here, but Discover Rotary, we've got 2 sessions coming up this month. Please bring a friend along. We've got it next Tuesday night and then the following Tuesday at our next meeting. That is correct. We are doing a special Discover Rotary Bring Your Friends to before our After Hours Club. So After Hours Club meets on the fourth Thursday at local Q, and we're going to meet an hour earlier at 4:30 to do that's an Amy Randall hosted Discover Rotary. So special bonus for y'all at that. So bring your friends to Discover Rotary, but again, club things, have fun, enjoy yourselves at our meetings, and please get engaged in your club. I went into our new member orientation session that we held at 11 o'clock and just encourage everybody to get involved because lunch meetings are great, but the most fun in Rotary is getting involved. Rob's going to remind me about our social coming up. So thank you, Rob. Our social's coming up 2 weeks from Thursday, a week from Thursday, if I'm not mistaken. So if you all stand, we will do our four-way test of the things we think, say, or do. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned?